SGC here, and let's do this week's comics. First up, I just picked up some back issues. Woman of Marvel, Sif One Shot. Found this online, sort of like Ryan Sturgman, like the guy who's drawing Superior Spider-Man. Saw his art and then saw his original art for this issue, and I'm like, hey, there's some pretty good stuff here, and Sif, love her. So, picked it up, and I might get some original art, maybe? Who knows? Ame-Comi, Powergirl. Love the cover. Pretty much why the reason I bought it. Storyline's kind of like, it doesn't matter. Boob window's back. Artist that draws this does not know how to do proportional women because their thighs are way too big for the rest of their body. And to follow that, Ame-Comi Supergirl continues the story of Powergirl, and then, interestingly enough, this leads to Ame-Comi #1. Same artist for this cover. Love it. Still, interiors, story, that's it. Just bought it for the cover. Secret Avengers, Scotty Young cover. Nothing great here. I mean, you got Hawkeye and Black Widow. Though I like Black Widow, I'm like, oh, I might get this. But then I'm like, I don't really care about this team, nor do I care about Black Nick Fury or Agent Coulson. And yeah, so Uncanny X-Men, Scotty Young cover. Bendis and Bacalo. Interesting story, I mean, with how Cyclops is going, like, just recruiting now, and then that last page is sort of like, okay, where are things going? I might continue this just for the Bacalo run, so story is not that, oh my goodness, I must read, but maybe, just maybe. Todd, the ugliest kid on earth, still crazy art, love the art, so cute-ish. And Todd is in prison now because of his, like, crime that he got framed for last issue. Met some cool people in prison and handling it. Age of Apocalypse, I think this is the final issue before it starts with the whole Extreme X-Men or Extinction X-Men crossover stuff. Wolverine is no more with his Apocalypse powers, and Apocalypse powers is now out of nobody, and it's just in a container. So I think that's where it leads with the whole crazy crossover thing. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, playing with Apocalypse powers, that actually calls for a crossover, yeah. Cable and X-Force, I don't know about this series anymore. I mean, Cable's cool and all, but story is just kind of like, I don't know where it's going, and then it's like an X-Force. It doesn't feel X-Force at all. It's just Cable and company. I mean, you got Colossus being all like, oh, we can't kill humans now. Oh. But I mean, he was like owning everybody when he has Phoenix powers. So it's sort of like carried over from Avengers vs. X-Men. So it doesn't feel right. And the storyline's like not that intriguing. So I mean, I have already collect one X-Force title. So I might just go with like Uncanny X-Force rather than Cable and X-Force. Nick Fury, man, so much action this issue. Lots of Punisher action, so check it out for sure. You love Punisher, and it's good old Nick Fury Max. And now it seems like there's a conspiracy. Do you wonder what the next issue is about? Awesome stuff. Bedlam 4, interesting stuff. Getting a superhero doing your dirty work, like punching people out and just tell me the truth sort of thing. Still got that crazy guy with like the wings and doing all this crime, and then got the main character who's just trying to help but no one really believes him sort of thing. But maybe they will now. Wolverine X-Men, school field trip to the Savage Land. Pretty good art. I mean, Wolverine's drawn like Wolverine, and it's like, whoa, Quentin is getting like, he's maturing, he's taking responsibility. Really loving the Quentin stuff. There's also character building for all the kids here. Like, Apocalypse Kid is just really struggling with, like, he can't be a villain. He's gonna be a good guy, but people keep insisting that he will. Brew is just figuring out how to be not Brew, but more, like, I don't know, not Brew, but a human, sort of, like, with personality. Good issue. Things happen, and then some brother shows up, so that's gonna be fun next issue. Batman 17, the whole death of the family ends, and I must say the first 3/4 of this issue was pretty badass. Like, I was just like, really page turner, and then at the end it ends, and I'm just like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, he can't really do that big of a thing, because if he does change his status quo, it's gonna be like, whoa, Snyder. Never gonna write again. Though I did read interviews where he's saying that he treats every story that he writes as his last, so I guess he just played along with like this. I pulled off the DC shelf, let me play around with it. Oh, okay, I'm almost done, so I put it back. So he doesn't really do that crazy stuff, but the first 3/4 of this issue was pretty intense. And I must say it was a lot better than like the rest of the Death of the Family stuff. And there are repercussions to this event, so I guess sure, why not? I mean, you have to have a family? No. Interviews are saying that the next big arc is coming in 21, so that's gonna be ways off, like 4 months. Star Wars #2, I was checking the art, and I must say for some reason I like issue 1 better, but it's the same artist. Han just looks kind of weird. Leia's really good, and Luke looks off a bit. And yeah, it seems like there's some panels that are really like lazy, and it's just like totally like pulls out the immersion. Because, I mean, everything else looks cool, but that, like, laziness. Storyline, interesting, things are happening. Yeah, that's a good read. Batman and Robin, Nightmare City. This carries over from like sort of like the annual vibe where it feels like a genuine story. Talks about Bruce, Damian, and Alfred having dreams and just like their worst fears or what they want to do to protect people. Gives me the whole Hawkeye vibe of what would happen after a night being Batman and Robin, and pretty much just a good read. Always look forward to Batman and Robin nowadays, so yes, cannot wait for next issue. End Times with Bran and Ben, issue number 2. Good stuff. I mean, you got your angel and demons sort of like fighting it out, and then you got some stupid angel business, and it's just like Ben sort of like being convinced that he has to stop Bram from doing the stupid Antichrist thing. And I appreciate that there's an interview in the back just talking about how the feelings of like what is up with like heaven and hell and how people see it nowadays, and it's a good read. Check it out. Anyway, that is it for this week's comics. Hope you liked it because you always pay for it. I get my comics at Ars Comics. Our address is always in the description. I hope you had a good week. Good comics. Anyway, that is all for this week's comics. See ya.